This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Gaz, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Open the door. Welcome to the XSC Podcast. This is episode 88. We had an extra one last week because Developer Direct. Gaz is making some sexy faces. We have such a great show. I am Colteastwood. The XSC Podcast stands for Xbox Newscast. We've got breaking hot news to talk about. We're super excited. Everything should be good. Everything should be really good. Gaz, how are you, bro?
I'm good, bruv.
Is that it? You're just doing good? You got a frozen smile?
Yes, bruv. I'm here with my brother from another Magistan. You get me, man?
Gaz, do the intro for Mag. Join him to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now joined with esteemed company. The Triforce is complete with Mag, Gaz, and Colt Yeastwood. Here we go. This is going to be an electric show. Get your ass ready because we're hearing some things. We are hearing some madness in the streets. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen. The best year ever for Xbox.
Mag, take the mic.
Yes.
How are you? As we just hog all the air. How are you, buddy?
First of all, you started so quickly. I thought you would you say you're like, we got 20 seconds for the show, and I'm mouthing off, and all of a sudden you're like, welcome to the XNC. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
We just. Yes, Gaz had the same face as I did. I'm like, that was the fastest 20 seconds of my life. That's what you said. Anyway,
and you know all about it.
My goodness.
Say hi
guys,
to the chat,
listen,
Mag.
The chat. I can't even keep up with you guys, so I'm going to do a blanket hello on the air to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for your support and all the hellos and everything else. I can't even type. I see. I'm looking down. All I see is Mag. And I see you all. I just can't get to all you because I can't type that damn fast. Old fingers full of arthritis. But anyways, we got a great show for you guys tonight. We got a lot to talk about. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with Colteastwood and Gaz, of course. XNC, we are here again. Let's do this. Let's get into it. We got a lot of people. We got a lot of good things to talk about. Let's go.
Yes. Hit. I love that. We got Mag with the 90s baseball announcer. Mag, gone. But yeah, we've got some good stuff. Hit the like button if you're gonna have a good time. I think you're gonna have a good time. We got just 400 people rolling in. We've got a super that dropped in from Silent Cypher, yeah, look at this. A $50 super. Says, thank you for the continued coverage each week. Gaz is an awesome addition to the show. He's like John Oates to your Daryl Hall. Cheers, gentlemen. That's just beautiful because I'm a big fan of their music. He says, here's to an already awesome 2023. Oh, and happy birthday, Gaz. Love it.
Happy birthday, Silent Cypher. Thank you for that $50 super chat. That was very generous of you. It all goes to Colt and YouTube, but thank you. That's lovely of you. Should we tell them, Colt? Should we tell him?
I mean, you're kind of part of everything. You can. I mean, I trust you. What's up?
Well, I was going to announce, Silent, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be leaving XNC soon. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. It's a bit early. I thought it was Feb. Well, it actually is Feb. A couple of days. This is going to be my last month of XNC. I'm actually going to cry. I'm not lying. Job stuff is happening. It's getting really crazy. I cannot do Monday late. It's just impossible. It has been, before we start the show, I have to say Colt, you are one of the best friends I have. You've supported me all throughout. You put up with all my nonsense, and you have been great. Good luck finding a replacement, though. But it's been,
easy.
It'll be easy. So I've got 4 more weeks or whatever it is. I'm gonna make it count. Obviously, if I can make it on any Monday, if you would have me, I'd love to be there. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who has absolutely supported me. But massive shout out to you, Cole. You've really just been super chill, put up with my nonsense all this time. So thank you. But I know good things are coming to XNC. Great things are coming to XNC.
Great things are coming to you too. You're like a full new job opportunity going on. And for people who have heard Gaz on the show for months and months, like as a co-host, you have to remember that right now it is 1 a.m. He sticks around on the show till 3 a.m. and then he tries to work from home the next day and he's like, and he does it.
That's the thing that's changed.
Does it for you.
They're making me come into work Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. I have to the responsibility is increasing, so that's the only reason why. Otherwise, I'd do this forever. But I am genuinely, I just have to say publicly, Colt, you have been an absolute star, man. I don't give a shit if people are not here or not. I wanted to say this to you, man. I really appreciate it. Giving me a chance to get on here because we're just good friends, and I hope I've done right by you guys. Thank you, everyone in chat. And by announcing the sad news, we also have some great news.
We do. We have
Xbox related. Some mad news.
We have some really good stuff. Yeah, let me read this from Yudana Kazada. Then I got to get some shout outs really quick and get to so you guys don't get super bored before we get into the hot news. Yudana Kazada, thank you for the super. Says, guess y'all mean that E3 might not be worth it, eh? Let's talk about E3 here in a second. That we'll gloss over that quickly because that was also some new stuff that popped up. That is, well, whatever. We'll deal with it. Element Pino says, "Welcome to the Mag Eastwood Sauce Show." So no. Thanks, Mag, for being here. We really appreciate it. I got to give a shout out to Mark Carwell, KY Bob, Assassin, Lupa, Jazzy Newtbox, Ricky Fallon, Zimic, Manic Master, and Jeremy Grigson, as well as Matt Burns, William Lanzo, Udani Kazada, Nano Polymyth, Assassin, Lupa, Robert Jackson, Lord Starkiller, Dante Moody, Beta Max, Stark, CMF, Jazz, Gaz, Fox Storytelling, Reek Havoc, Fault Line, Zener White, Devario 2, Poochie Remix, Feek Simcoe, Assassin, Dub, Larry Thatcher, Hargy, Johnny, TK Chillin, Raiden Blade, Acute Perspective, Truth 77, Risk It for the Biscuit, Micah Ford, Red Saurus, Crit Harmony, Attitude Tears, and Pesky Krogan from the Pandu Bamboo on the XNC podcast. Here live with the hit like button at the one, Steven. There you go. No, you guys are really amazing. Thank you for Mag. Just the other day when Xbox had their developer direct, this is how Gaz is so gracious. I said, "Hey, do you want to live stream this tomorrow?" Like I gave him like 5 hours notice. He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And we had 2,700 people watching us post-show talking about the developer direct, and we had some fun.
I told you to do it, you lying piece of crap. I said Asa couldn't do it. Let's do it on yours. Do you forget?
Hold on, let me check my phone. And blocked Gas.
You just Jason tried me.
No, I mean, I was thinking about it, and you put up a poll on Twitter, and Ace is like, "You didn't check with me," and then you're like, bloop. So I want to get into the. I don't want to make you wait for the cool news. So let's talk about E3, the E3 ESA showcase, Mag. They're talking about finally coming back, but now IGN has revealed that Nintendo and PlayStation and Xbox are not going to be in the convention center. Your thoughts?
Great. First of all, it makes no sense to me. What E3 are you going to have without 3 companies that make video games, for crying out loud? It doesn't make any sense to me. So what are they going to do in there? I don't get it.
It's gonna be like the Tokyo Game Show or game. Yeah, it's just like.
You know what I mean, it's gonna be like one of those lame conventions. You know, where they got like just like 8 million Funko Pops and like a couple of like dusty old like collectors. What are they gonna do in there? I don't understand. With all of that space and all of that room, you don't have. By the way, shout out to the Game Boy. By the way, in the chat, he said probably the funniest thing I've seen in probably about a week. He said, "Colteastwood, you're laying off people too." Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Colteastwood. That's it. You see what's happening?
That's what happened.
That's it. Anyways, I just had to shout that out because that was the funniest
That's
thing
awesome.
I've seen in a while. By the way, hi again to the chat. I saw a whole bunch of new people saying hi to me. But anyways, listen, I don't understand it. The convention
love
center,
him.
you can land a 747 plane in there. The place is monstrous. What are they going to have in there if Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo aren't there? Can someone please explain to me what? Like, I don't know what the heck they're going to do in there. So. Is it going to be some kind of if nothing's going to be licensed, like you're going to have a third party in there? That's the other thing. That's my other question. Are you going to have like Ubisoft, who are Ubisoft is doing what they're doing. You've got EA. What else have they got? What are they
Well, I mean, you're going to have you'll have a Devolver Digital section. You'll have a Capcom. You'll have some indie game. You have there's a game called like Butt Brawlers or something, which Gaz and I are going to we're gonna play that in early access. There's like some game called Booty Brawlers or something. There's all these little booths, and then you can buy stickers.
$20 for some of the girls off the Sunset Strip. You could do Booty Brawlers. Anyways, that's only 10 minutes away from the convention center.
Literally.
But anyhow, Gaz already knows all about it. He's already made that part of the itinerary for when we go.
Ashtray,
anyways,
hold on. Ashtray Gaming in the chat says Colt should do a meet and greet stand. I can imagine me with my little, cardboard stand, and everybody's just walking by me. I'm like. The whole time, like all day.
You want to do YouTuber lemonade stands where we all have competing lemonade stands against each other? You ran to the corner,
that'll work if you're dressed up.
Okay, so you know what? It's not all doom and gloom, okay? Because we still named at least 3 big companies that could have things to show. Listen, they're not going to show up at this E3 with nothing to show of what's coming forward, right? So at least Capcom, maybe they'll show us 1 or 2 titles. Never know. There might even be, maybe it's way too early for like a Resident Evil 9, but like, I don't know. I'm kind of tired of the Monster Hunter thing. They might show, what the heck is it? They might have like a Street Fighter 6 tournament in there, that kind of thing.
They'll have a tournament section.
Sure.
When's the last time you went to E3, or have you been, Mag?
I have never been because it's LA is not exactly close.
Right.
From Toronto. I mean, it's a 5-hour flight. Yeah, it's a 5-hour flight to from Toronto. So it's not horrible. I am going this year. So this was going to be the year. Now, I know if I'm not mistaken, Xbox is still doing their thing, but they're going to do it over in their theater, are they not?
Correct.
Okay, so they're going to do it on the Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
It's just funny that IGN said, leakers report, inside information that Xbox and PlayStation, Nintendo won't be there. Well, Gaz, PlayStation stopped going like 3 or 4 years ago. You've been to E3. What's in the meat of the convention center? You went back when they were all there.
I've never been to E3. What are you talking about?
Well, what was the big event that you were? Gamescom? Same thing.
Gamescom. It will be now, except it won't have half the people there. Sony bowed out of E3 ages ago, so last year, whenever they cancelled it, everyone was saying E3 is dead, E3 is dead, and Microsoft was their only hope, really, because they always took E3 seriously. So when the big news about this is the fact that Microsoft is not going to attend, that's the big one. And if that's the case, then say goodbye to the bluster of E3. Even though it's in the same week, it's not E3. So E3 is going to be relegated to be honest, actually, Microsoft, having seen the success of the Developer Direct, I wondered what the future of E3 was going to be. If now you give control to the platform holders, they control the news. They're not, beholden to this summer showcase where there's a lot of logistical stuff to sort out on this fixed date. There's tactical stuff to sort out. Remember, Microsoft goes first usually, then Sony used to go after, and that had a big. There was a lot there. Now you're giving control into the platform holders' hands. Microsoft has already done a very, very successful Xbox and Bethesda Developer Direct. They're going to be looking to enhance that more. So E3 is probably going to dwindle. I'm very surprised by this news. But I did wonder, I say, why did, when Phil Spencer had that interview with IGN, great interview, by the way, really great. And you did a great video. It was better than no, I won't say that. But it's a really good video. It's a really good video. Great music.
Didn't get as many
gameplay.
views as the other one. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but it's IGN. I mean, you get half the views, like, and it's IGN with 50 million subs. It's crazy. But and please do watch it, people. It's really good. There's a lot there. I was thinking of doing a video, but Colt did a great one.
It's a 25-minute interview, and I cut it down to 8 minutes of the most important stuff Phil said. But yeah, that helps.
And that's a very big interview, in my opinion. And it seems like it signals that they've been listening to everything we've been saying. And I'm really happy about it. Obviously, the proof is in the pudding. And people are like, I've made a tweet about that. People were like, oh, wait for E3 beam. But one thing Phil Spencer didn't actually specify was that he loves those kind of summer showcases. And if I recall correctly, he didn't actually mention E3 specifically about when he confirming his attendance. He talked about E3 generally, about E3 type shows. We like being there, but when he talked about the Xbox's presence there, I think he was quite clever. I'll go back. I'll go watch it. So it's a sad thing in that sense, but it's just down the road, isn't it? I mean, you tell me. It's not that far. What difference does it make to us? And I'm flying there. What do I do? On Sunday, I see you. We touch tips, and then what happens?
You're gonna have a time that you'll never forget, or you'll never remember, because once you go out with me, oh boy, you're in deep trouble, because we're hitting the Sunset Strip. It's only 15 minutes away, and I'm staying in a resort in West Hollywood, so you gotta come. It's a place where all the rock stars stayed. So
Mag's gonna rent an 82 IROC Camaro to pick you up with a T-top.
I own one. I'm gonna drop it from a
Do you
plane
really?
Like a
do you own an IROC Camaro?
No, I'm just kidding. No.
Oh my god! I thought I got him picked.
What have you got?
I should get like one of those big army planes to drop it with a parachute, like Forza Horizon.
The C-17 or whatever the thing is.
To the convention center. No, I have a 1979 Fiat Spider convertible racing edition, so I do have that, but not a Camaro. Anyways, I was just talking to Wandering Dutch. Shout out to Wandering Dutch, by the way, great dude. He's actually going to be coming down to I guess we'll call it E3 as well. He's saying that Microsoft is going to be in the Microsoft Theater, just as I predicted. Now, the thing is, if they're going to charge you to get in to the convention center, which is literally across the street, right? So you're going to pay for that. You wear your silly little laminate around your neck and whatever. You walk around, you do your thing. Now, do we going to have to pay to go into the Microsoft one too? So, like, I mean, I don't really care, but I mean, it just seems like counterproductive. You just walk in and then just.
That's that. No, that is how it'll work. I'm sorry. So Microsoft have
games to play or whatever.
Microsoft has the theater, and they have their own setup there where you can play games. Basically, what you would see in the convention center, there's that many stations on the stage and behind the stage, adjacent, behind, aforementioned, and aft. And other sort of words. So Xbox has their representation there. And when Gas was talking about Phil's interview, it's very apparent that he wants E3 to stick around. And they're going to go and they're going to be there because they've respected the E3 week regardless of the situation going on. So that's where that's... Now, this is like a discussion we'll have another time, but like if Gaz is flying all the way in from UK and you're flying all the way from the other side of North America, like how much do you want to spend time in the E3 Convention Center if it's like a Capcom booth? Because when we were there in 2019, there was Biomutant, Cyberpunk, Doom Eternal. What else was new in 2019? There was some big things, but there's a lot of little booths. So that's kind of how that's going. Let me read. We'll move on from that because either way, Xbox is going to be there, and we know when the show is. It'll be the second Sunday of the month, which is I think the 11th. But we'll get more about that. Elemental Pino says, "Gaz, shadow dropping leave of absence." Just drops it right on us. Drawn TJ says, "Hi guys." Tango Gameworks. I want to talk about that game in a minute here. Captain Chat says E3 is going to be like EGX in the UK. What is that, Gaz?
Absolute crap.
EGX.
Yeah, EGX
Electronic
is like
Games Expo?
Yeah, basically by Eurogamer, who are owned by them, the company that owns them, they do their own event. It's the biggest event we have here. It's not that great, or it hasn't been that great for a few years. Hopefully things pick up, but it's been pretty terrible, especially compared to Gamescom. But I've had good opportunity, like 2013, 2014. I got to meet some really cool devs. I met developers at Respawn. I met Abby, she was lovely. Loads of people. I met loads of people from like Tina Palacios and loads of people at the time, and that was really cool. But now it's dead. So EGX is like, I get what he's saying. It's gonna be a bit, but you know what? Doesn't make a difference really to us. We still have the Xbox big show. That's all we care about. The Sunday show. That's the big one. In fact, like we're talking about flights. I was like, should I fly out on Thursday, come back on Monday or Tuesday? I mean, I was gonna leave before the E3 started anyway.
You're not gonna actually be at the E3 then, because I'm flying in on the Saturday the 10th. Xbox is on Sunday the 11th.
Yep.
And then I don't fly out till Friday morning, the following Friday morning. So I have
the whole week.
Yeah, I'm staying the whole week. But I'm doing other things there because I have friends that work for Warner Brothers and stuff. So I'm going to be on the Warner Brothers lot. I'm going to the Universal lot.
Oh, okay.
That's where I get all this fun little inside information from, which I'm not supposed to tell people, but I do anyway. But anyways, I get all that kind of stuff.
It's not my
the movie
NDA.
side of things, Hollywood side, not video game side. But I do stuff for Ubisoft, which, that's neither here nor there lately. But yes. So I'll be there for the entire week. So I've got other things I got to do there other than E3. So I have at least 3 days where I'm going to be with the Hollywood side of things, right? So and then the other 4 days will be dedicated towards E3 and whatever. And hopefully, God willing, I can actually get into the Xbox showcase. That's my number one goal. I'm trying to get my wife and I in there. I don't know like what I got to do. Who do I got to like harass?
Colteastwood.
I know.
Who I have to harass?
He's right there, right above me. See that guy? He's got to get me in somehow. And I'm pretty sure Phil has me muted. So, because, anyways, I'm just. So I've had one interaction with Phil, and he's an absolutely wonderful person. So
he really
he's
is.
Probably listening right now, probably spitting out his coffee, going, "Who the hell is this guy? I never talked to this guy." Yes, you did. Before I started doing YouTube and stuff. Anyway,
Yeah. Where's that perfect memory? Yeah. I've got some gameplay up on the screen. I actually kicked this off by showing the montage of games that are coming to Xbox and Game Pass that I put together for 2023. And then we got this beautiful Forza footage, which there's not much to say about Forza, but I want to talk about High on Life because that footage is going to come up here in a second. I've been playing it. I thought, oh, wow, this isn't something I usually love, but I am in love with the game. Gaz, you've been playing a little bit of it. What are your first impressions?
Off which game? Hi-Fi Rush?
Hi-Fi Rush, yes.
Did I say High on Life?
Yeah, you did.
I think you did.
I knew I did.
Ready?
I knew I did.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I played a little bit. I really enjoyed it. But I'm being pulled away by a game people said I was going to drop after 5 minutes. GoldenEye.
Talk about that first. That's funny.
I mean, first of all, we'll talk about Hi-Fi Rush because that deserves its own piece. But GoldenEye came out. Obviously, it's an acquired taste. For me, it was amazing. Just playing it, the nostalgia, the music. I've been playing it pretty much every day. This game actually made me stop and think about the value of something I don't normally care about, and that's achievements. Achievements have propelled my experience with GoldenEye more than any other. I never care about achievements until this game. And I was set out. I was like, I want to get just the 100% achievement and the 00 agent achievement. And it's pushed me to do just play the game, enjoy the challenge. And the achievements are linked to the original game's cheat modes that you'd unlock if you did those challenges. So it's just really good. I love that game. I've also been playing Dead Space, which is an incredible game we can talk about later as well. Such a good remake. That made me change my mind. You know what? I gave a lot of crap to The Last of Us. I know they had a remaster. I don't see the utility in it, but the Dead Space one is so good.
Oh, Dead Space is so very, very. It's been a long time. An 08 game, 09, 08, I think. Yeah, here's the Dead Space footage popping up now for you guys. So, Mag, have you played Hi-Fi Rush, or do you want to talk about Dead Space?
I could talk about both. I've been playing both. So, Hi-Fi Rush, I put about an hour and a half in, and just trying to get my feel for it, get the mechanics down, everything else. The buttons are pretty simplistic, so it's not too difficult. And I was having a little bit of trouble at first with the rhythm thing. Not that I don't have a rhythm problem. I actually am a percussionist on the in my younger days. But the thing is, it was not a problem there. I was just trying to figure out the mechanics of like, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? Once you figure it out, it's actually a lot of fun. And I don't know, it's just a fun little game. I know some people are like really, really enjoying it. Like, shout out to my friend there, Mr. Boomstick XL. He's playing it nonstop, and he's playing it. And actually, Wandering Dutch has already finished it. He's actually going back and doing a second run on a harder difficulty. So they're really, really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. However, it did come out the same time as Dead Space. And Dead Space is more my speed, right? That's more my thing. I grew up, Jesus. I was already a man by the time PS1 came out.
Were you?
I was a man.
I was a
man. A man who invented the wheel. Built the Eiffel Tower.
You came out of the garage, you're like, what's this Dead Space? I got a wrench.
So, anyways, I've been playing that, but see, that's the thing. It's more my speed. I grew up with the Resident Evils, the Dead Spaces, the Tomb Raiders, basically your third-person, action, and sometimes, of course, survival horror, whatever. All of a sudden, this game comes out. I start playing it. I'm playing it with headphones only, so you get that real, you get the real solid sound out of it. And my goodness, what a game! It is something else. And so. Problem is, you've got Dead Space pulling me away from Hi-Fi Rush, and I'm like, I'll get back to you, sweetheart. I'll get back to you. Just, give me some time. You know that meme of the dude with the girl, and he's looking back at the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically what's happening.
I mean, that's what I did with the Forspoken girl and the Redfall Layla. This past week, we were having a little bit of fun with Forspoken. Just landed like a fiery turd in a paper bag. But it happens sometimes. It happens.
Oh,
Man,
did you know
3 minutes into
Hi-Fi
that-
Rush is on 88 on Metacritic with 22 reviews? That's pretty good.
It's doing well.
89.
And actually, if I'm not mistaken, I heard I saw some posts about it where it was actually making, and not to get into this console business, it's just, it's just a litmus test to show you that actually Game Pass is not everything. Sales are as well. For something like a $30 game, my understanding is that it's actually outselling the $70 Forspoken.
That says a lot. Yeah, and any of those guys on PC could play it for $10, or $1, right? The whole dollar narrative. Yeah.
Isn't that something that Phil talked about for years, saying that that game sales increased with a subscription service because people were able to test it, try it, and say, you know what? I really like it. It's something I actually want part of my collection, and then they still buy it anyway. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't hold on to that media the same way. Like, for example, if I see Stranger Things season 4 or season 5, whatever, and I go, wow, that's amazing. I don't go to Walmart to go buy a box set. It's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got it. So, like, for me, it's not the same. But for some people who like that sort of thing, hey, man, all the power to you. But the fact that it's selling incredibly well at half the price is a testament that this subscription model and the game itself are magnificent, and it's actually working. Just wait till it gets even bigger and bigger and bigger. And there was a couple of delays here and there. The pandemic didn't help, and all that kind of stuff. And the recovery from that didn't help, and the shortages didn't help. Now the things are slowly starting to get that ball rolling that should have been started 2 years ago. It's starting to happen now. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Also, one last thing before I run out of breath is Gaz playing
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye. I played an hour of it, and I couldn't stop doing the run. I was playing it on the 00 difficulties, like the hardest one, and I'm like, all right, let me do this. So I keep doing these runs, and I die, and you have to start over, and I'm like, God, and I'm like, all right, and then I do it like again and again, and then all of a sudden by the 5th time, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I'm going to kill this guy first, then we're going to go to the tower, shoot this guy, go down over here, then we're going to do this, and then all of a sudden I realized I was having fun. The game that was almost giving me a stroke looking at like the graphics. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to die playing this. I can't play this. After an hour, I was like, wow, this is actually a lot of fun. I forgot how fun it is. I don't have a single achievement yet because I'm still trying to do those runs like on the hardest difficulty. I'm just going for that first. I don't care. And I just keep doing it. So, a lot of fun. But anyways, that was all. I'm playing 3 games at once.
I told people on this show, and I said on social media that I'll play about 5 minutes of GoldenEye and I'll put it down. And I ended up playing it like 2 hours. And I had my son play it. My son's 11, and he was like, ha, 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 laughing at the visuals, right? I'm like, dude, you play Roblox and Minecraft. I slapped him upside the head. And then he was like laughing away at the characters. Like he got up to a scientist, and he's like, his face is made out of cardboard. But then we just ended up playing it for like an hour together, and I played it another couple hours, unlocked like, I don't know, 3 or 4 achievements, and I thought I wouldn't give it that much time. I'd actually like to go back. It's crazy. And then the Hi-Fi Rush thing, totally anime, which isn't my deal, the anime thing. But as an illustrator, holy crap, is this game beautiful. It's like one of the best looking games I've seen in a long time. You got these huge vistas.
Cel-shaded, yeah.
So
Probably
awesome.
one of the best looking shell shaded games. It's so good.
And they left nothing out. Like, you go into this area and everything's dancing, all the pieces of the Technodrome is going on. It's just phenomenal looking. And then I was going to say, Mag, when you say the rhythm, you'd think your first hit has to matter to be on the beat, but it doesn't matter. It's like go in and hit X, and then after he hits the enemy, then worry about rhythm. And it just goes. You got this grapple. I've got like a slide on the knees and go.
This is way better than Metal Hellsinger, by the way. For some reason, I couldn't get into the rhythm that they wanted you to get.
I couldn't do that either. That was another one I've spoken to about Dutch. He was telling me about. I think he knows the developers of the game, and he's like, "Oh, you got to try it." So I tried it. It just didn't jive.
It doesn't feel satisfying to me, right?
No, it wasn't satisfying to me. By the way, I had a few people in the chat saying that my mic was low. So I don't know
let me see if I can bring you up.
I don't know if you guys are being hilarious because I'm always screaming, but like, I don't know.
Where's
I'm fine to me, but let Colt do it on his end. Don't change it.
There we go. Nope, you're good. You're good.
All right.
You should be good. I brought him up from 100 to 130%. If he starts blowing your eardrums out, hey, you get what you pay for. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll move back from the microphone.
No, you're good. I did think you were slightly quiet, but as far as I'm hearing, it's pretty dang decent. So. We should be good. Let us know if Mike sounds better, right? Say, Mike, good. What were we saying? Hi-Fi Rush is beautiful.
Hi-Fi Rush, beautiful.
Yeah.
You're also talking about the rhythm, saying that it didn't matter until you made the first hit. And when you made the first hit, then that's when the rhythm mattered. So it's not like you're sitting there going, I gotta wait to hit this guy, But
because I was like, it was like, do, because I think you're like 96 beats per minute or something like that. And I would like, get ready to hit X. Boom, boom, boom. And then he goes, swings like a beat and a half later. I'm like, that's not working. So you just go in and start hitting, and then after that enemy gets hit, then just get in the rhythm. And it's really, really lenient that way, right? So anyway,
I mean,
what do you think,
this
guys?
is an Xbox first-party studio that has delivered this game out of nowhere. Do you know what? Shadowdrop. So a lot of people immediately are like, ooh, Shadowdrop. That means they're scared of reviews because it's going to be a poor game. Instantly got the receipts for those.
It was at 91 at one point.
Yeah, 89 on Metacritic with 20 plus reviews, and IGN Japan gave it a 10 out of 10 because they were like, this is a rhythm-based game. Look, it's a Japanese studio delivering this kind of game. Visual quality is there, the gameplay is there, bug-free pretty much. Just hardly like when do you see that happen? Then it's got this palette that Xbox doesn't have. No. This is the kind of game
outside of Psychonauts, yeah, they really don't.
Yeah, PlayStation used to get this kind of game in the PS1 and PS2 days, the heydays, and then here comes Xbox, start of the year, Shadowdrop on a developer direct. We were just expecting some information on Redfall, Forza, and Minecraft Legends or whatever, but then this comes out and it's great and it's amazing.
I was expecting Bleeding Edge Part 2, and I was really worried.
I
wasn't worried because when we were live streaming it, remember our jaws were on the floor. Well, you couldn't see it, chat, because there was just gameplay on the screen.
I was eating.
We were just, it was just like this. We're like, what the hell is this? This looks super polished, like really polished. The animations, the character. Xbox just got a whole set of mascots, or a whole new mascot now, out of nowhere. And this is where, it's kind of silly to hold on to Master Chief now, because Xbox has such a diverse set of characters. Colt's got another t-shirt to make. But this guy, you can do
delayed, canceled.
It's evolved, guys. Look at Sony. Sony started out, decades ago. Who was the face of Sony decades ago? It was Crash Bandicoot. You remember those commercials with the megaphone standing outside of the Sega?
Yeah. making fun of Mario.
With your hands up, whatever he was doing. They did all that stuff. And where's, look at decades ahead now. Where's Crash now? He's not a mascot for Xbox.
He's in Xbox's breast pocket.
Basically going to be owned by Xbox. Things change over time. You might be right. He could be. He might not be. He won't be the face of Xbox, the new character from Hi-Fi, but he'll be a part of it. He'll be a part of the conversation, right?
Yeah.
And it's good. However, I just want to note one little thing, though. I was actually excited for the fact that this is what you would consider a $30 game, which I think it's underpriced personally. But either way, it's fine. That means that they're still working on some big AAA something or other behind the scenes. I am still got that candle in the window waiting for the Evil Within 3. I have a feeling that they're secretly working on that too, because if they Shadowdrop this is clearly not all they're working on, right? And of course they had Ghostwire Tokyo that they released last year.
And we thought we knew everything that was coming, Mag. We thought we had a magic list or an insider list. And shout out to 1,000 people who are here watching XC Podcast. Yes. Hit the button, guys. Hit the like button. I don't know. Gaz always hits a music button when something happens. He's like he's got a little music box. I don't know.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go! 1,000. Every time we get 100 more, I'm gonna hit that music. Spread the word. By the way, Sin.
For those of you who are joining us. Wait, I'm sorry, Gaz. Hold on.
Sorry.
I got to see Gaz over here so I don't talk over him. Go ahead, Gaz.
I know. This is ADHD, the podcast. Sin made a good point about the fact that shadow dropping can affect the livelihood of media outlets that depend on review clicks. And I will say to that, the traditional, the value of reviewers from those big publications is dying. It's dying and it's shifting in favor of content creators and streamers. It's been happening for a while, but now it's coming to a fore. And when you see things like the Metro review for Hi-Fi Rush,
oh my gosh,
ridiculous! What a ridiculous review!
Do you have that statement that they said?
I let me pull it out here because I retweeted Infinite
and get the statement too.
Tweet. And I've got the statement here. So this they gave an 80 out of 100. Check this out, chat, and tell me if this makes sense to you. This is their spiel when reviewing this game. Admittedly, that's not saying much, given this is also for the first Xbox Series X exclusives to be published by Microsoft themselves. The wasteland that has been the Xbox release schedules for the last few years limits the accolade we can give the game. Oh, sorry, what the hell are you talking about?
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Why? What bearing does the Xbox wasteland have on Hi-Fi Rush? Why are you considering that?
Imagine
the merits of this game.
Imagine knocking down Hi-Fi Rush a point, like giving it an 8 instead of a 9 out of 10 because Compulsion didn't put out their game yet, or I'm trying to think of the other studios. Like Arcane hasn't put out a game yet in many years. Like, it's so ridiculous to punish all the other studios. I'll explain to you why Hi-Fi Rush Shadow dropped. I think it was because Xbox knew their fans needed a big W because they had made them wait an entire year without anything bigger than Grounded, right? An entire year of nothing of massive substance. And I think it was a really smart move. This is like how you know the new Xbox has arrived, Mag, because they decided, if this game is ready, let's just drop it on like a game is never dropped. Let's just say it's out right now and give Xbox fans the relief that they've been dealing with for over a year.
Right. And I mean, it was a solid. Sorry, go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Sorry. I really apologize. You're the guest here, man. I should shut up.
No. Go ahead.
I just wanted to really quick touch upon another point. Another journalist, Ty Kim. Like, you used to work for Bloomberg. Now you work for God knows what, Barron's and CNBC. What does he all he does is console war, and he's biased as hell. So is Jason Schreier. As much as I like the scoops Jason Schreier gets and his investigative journalism
and his accuracy,
I don't like his
accuracy,
and I value that. At least he's bringing something to the table. But these personalities as far as their opinions are concerned, they're not worth the toilet paper you use to wipe your ass sometimes. Because honestly, look at Ty Kim, drive-by trolling. That's fine. If we're trolls, we like to console war, the source, that's fine. But you're a journalist. Do you think you should be doing that? And it's like, here's Ty Kim's tweet. On the eve of Hi-Fi Rush doing well, he felt so angry that he said, "Oh, Groundhog Day. No AAA exclusives of Xbox launch. 0 in 2022. Lackluster prior years. Long list of shutters studios. New layoffs after mismanagement. Halo 10 Infinite 10-year promise. When will fans hold Xbox accountable? When will fans hold Xbox accountable? I've been battling half of you in chat for holding this accountable. Xbox fans have always been holding Xbox accountable. It's in our blood, in our DNA. It's why we've always been doing. But why would we take the voices of these journalists from? And it's not like a case of hating the big guys, but if you inhibit, well, whatever, you are at that station, you command all these views. You don't have a responsibility to conduct yourself a certain way. Even I'm feeling it with my tiny platform. Like, maybe I'm like, I need to do a little bit better here. Because some people, like, listen to what I'm saying. So I need to, like, not troll too much. But this guy, he's acting like a clown.
What is there to hold accountable for?
I was like, I would say to their face, you're acting like twats. Are you guys going to actually fix up? It's not my job to make them fix up, but I just find it really, really just uncanny that they do that. And you might say, Gaz, that's coming from you. I'm not a journalist. I never wrote for Bloomberg. What is going on? To go back to the chat's point, everything is shifting towards content creators. Yes, of course, you'll have the big guys like Jeff Grubb. I really love his writing style, love his review, and that guy has the spirit of gaming in his heart.
There's a difference. There's like
you tried to beat his time in what's it called? I tried beating the time. I was top 300 in the world. He is crazy. Jeff Grubb is a proper gamer. So it's like everything is shifting.
Well, there's a difference. Bloomberg is a news media outlet that has been around for a long time, and then you have content creators, and then you have these gaming media websites and news sites like Giant Bomb, where Jeff Grubb is. Like, he comes from, it's a different type of pedigree than someone who writes for Bloomberg or the Washington Post. You know, like I had the guy from, I don't even name his name, but I had the guy from Washington. Where was he from? I don't even remember. Whatever. I had somebody from a real news outlet try to troll me that I was, poor shaming people because Xbox has exclusives. But the whole thing about Take Him's like, when are you guys going to hold people accountable? It's like, Xbox had 3 or 4 studios, 5 years ago, basically. And because of Xbox fans' loud voice saying, where are the games? Where are the games? I remember in 2019, where are the games? And they started buying studios at XO19. And so we're like, where are the games? And this is because of the fans. It's not because somebody like Tay Kim was holding Xbox accountable. And like you said, Gaz and I on this show and on his show, we made a lot of people angry because we were too negative or we whined too much. But like we said,
we got people with death threats coming after me.
Yeah, it's I don't get
Speak
it.
it, Meg.
The thing is, Ty Kim there, as for him, he's one of those guys who he's what they call a post and ghost. Right? Like, he won't interact with people, he won't talk to them, he won't do anything. He just posts and ghost, and he's gone, right? And that's what he does, right? Yeah, he just does that. He drops his little nuggets, and he gets people going, and then he drums
mutes the thread. Yeah.
And then what does he do? He just he's just drumming up attention, right? And then that gains more for his brand and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Whether it's positive or negative, it doesn't really matter because news is news to these guys. Yeah. And that's why you see these ridiculous articles like, like even unrelated to gaming, they're like, man offended by red lights at traffic stop. And everybody's like, what the hell is this now? Right? It's like, and then people get worked up from that stuff too because it just brings attention. So like I said, he's a post and ghost kind of guy. Now, in regards to holding Xbox accountable, 2022 was obviously not a great year. So what I did is, obviously I'm on social media. Obviously I do, I do my videos, I do shows, I do whatever. I'm on the show every week with Mr. Boomstick XL, and of course I do a lot of guest shots, right? Mm-hmm. I've voiced my displeasure, here and there with what's going on. However, I've got to a point now where I'm like, listen, there's one way I could do it where I don't have to expend so much. I'm a busy guy, okay? I don't have all the time in the world to sit there and sit there for a 9-hour Twitter space with people who apparently don't work for a living, but they all have, I don't know what the hell they do.
At 9 in the morning.
How many times I've gone into a Twitter space and I'm like, do you guys do anything? Like ever? Yeah. Do you pick up a broom and sweep the floor? I don't know. Do you do anything? But all this is like 10 hours of talking about how Xbox sucks or whatever, right? Anyways, the thing is, I do it in a different way. My way of voicing my displeasure, obviously outside of the shows, is I just don't give them attention. For example, in 2022, I barely turned on my Xbox. Barely. Okay? That's the way I did it. And you know what that turns into? That turns into analytics. Because if people aren't paying it, I actually had 2 Game Pass subscriptions in my house. One for the kids, one for myself and my wife. And we game share, so my wife and I both have a Game Pass there. And then my kids had another one. I canceled theirs. We had 2 Game Pass Ultimates going in the house. I canceled theirs because they weren't touching it.
Yeah.
No one was playing it. I kept mine going because every once in a while there'd be something I'd like to get my hands on, like a Plague Tale or whatever else, right? It wasn't enough to hold my attention. So you know what I did do? I was playing my PS5.
Yeah.
It's not a console war thing. That's not anything else. They just had titles that I was interested more in 2022. Like
and in
Horizon Forbidden West, I adored it.
And somehow they grew Game Pass in 2022, which just made me scratch my hair right off of my head, whatever's left.
That are not us, Colt, and the people in the chat. We are fans, fans that are deeply rooted into the system. If you're like a casual and you're not into the system or whatever, or you're not into watching these shows or anything like that, we basically make up the 15 to 20% of actual gamers out there, right? So therefore, us, we're more deeply rooted. We play practically everything. I've heard someone say before, when Game Pass has a slow time period, that's the time where like the hardcore really are not in there that much because they probably played everything. Or if they release like a third-party game that's like, Monster Hunter World or something like
Rise,
that.
Yeah.
Be like, well, we already play. A lot of us hardcore have already played them because we probably bought them, right? So
and us hardcore do not make up even a slight part of the ecosystem.
Right.
That's the push and pull that we have to deal with.
Exactly. And so for 2022, they didn't get much attention. I know some people in the chat are probably pissed at me for saying that, but I'm like, hey, they didn't grab my attention in 2022. That's fine. There's no problem with that. You're not gonna win every single game. You're not gonna win every fight. Doesn't matter. Let's say your favorite team is like whatever, the Buffalo Bills. They're not going 17-0 every single season. That's not how things work. You're always gonna have a winner and a loser, and a winner and a loser. That's always the way it is. So therefore, 2022 not great. However, 2023 has started off great in my opinion. And I think that show, that developer diary thing was fantastic. It was well-paced. It was a great show. And then, of course, they do the Shadowdrop of this hi-fi. Good vibes all around. The game's getting good reviews, good buzz. Now they got to capitalize again. They can't let up because Sony is not going to let up. Nintendo's got a big year coming up, too, because they got another Zelda game on the horizon. Got to push hard. So I know that they showed what they showed, but they got to keep doing little things that draw attention. Right?
Yeah.
And doing a shadow drop of a fantastic game is a great way to get attention. Right? That's what I see, and that's what they got to keep doing. And then, of course, on top of that, that's where they have to hit those home runs with your Redfalls, with your Starfields, with your Senua's Sagas, preferably later this year, with the Forzas. Right?
I think
between all that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, think about this.
No.
Think about this. It's people saying, "Oh, it's kind of redundant that they have to keep doing stuff like that." No, it's not. You know why? Because Coca-Cola has been around for 120 years.
Yeah.
Every second commercial on television is still Coca-Cola.
Yeah, they don't rest. They don't rest.
Right. You don't rest, and that's the point. It's not redundant.
Microsoft
You have to keep everybody's attention.
doesn't advertise, whereas Sony advertising all the time. They see the adverts now on TV with the Spider-Man, like with God of War, Kratos' axe everywhere. It's like they're aggressively doing it. Which is big reason why we doubted Starfield was even going to make the 6 months. But, Colt, are we hearing... you said things might be
let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk good news. Let me get past a couple supers, and we'll talk some good news we're hearing today. Elemental Pedo says, if there is no more E3, do you still call it E3, or the three big companies have their own shows around the same time? I think if this is the last E3, like their big attempt, Xbox will just say their game showcase, and PlayStation will just continue to not give game showcases. I don't know what they're doing. Bit Fernaldi, thank you for the 2, says, I'm going to finish 007, but dang, it looks horrible. Yeah, it hurts the eyes. It's really bad. They didn't even try. They just said, file save as Xbox. Here we go, throwing some achievements, but whatever. Smoke Show, thank you for the Canadian 2, says, can I get Gaz dancing into that 007 pause music? Can't get it out of my head.
If I saved it, I would have done it.
Yeah, you should put it on the board.
Thank you for that. Scooter in the chat said something really funny. He's like, I like how Mag brings that I just snorted an Adderall energy like Gaz. Hey, you guys are on fire tonight, man. You guys are hilarious.
By the way, shout out to 1,160.
1.1. I'm about to throw up a gang sign. That's probably getting shot.
About to go to your old days?
Yes. Before I was executive chef, I used to run the Crips. Anyways.
Or feed them at least. The Game Boy with a 5 says, Xbox and PlayStation OS will ultimately become PC launchers. There's no such thing as next-gen consoles. No. Well, I mean, there's more consoles coming. Magnet Sama, thank you for the 5, says, hey, Colt, the hit will always be a hit on beat, even if the buttons are off beat, but can swing on beat to get that first extra damage in Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah, I'm like, I used to kind of have to try to do this when I first started playing the game, and I realized I just listened to it, and I just kind of, I play the game like this. Detective Seeds, I got to talk to him the other day. Thank you for the super. He says, I did research for a review video. Hi-Fi Rush is the only official shadow drop other than Apex in the last decade. Prior to that, the only other one was Tetris 99. These are official shadow drops, he says. So that's pretty cool. And check out Detective Seed's channel. He does reviews. He gets early access. He was just telling me he just reviewed the new SpongeBob game. He goes, it was kind of good. I was like, what? It was? So you never know. Maya Kong with the Canadian $2.79 says, I need my weekly portion of Gaz's auto-tune voice.
Yeah, you're gonna miss this. No, you're not. I'm gonna keep doing this. Red Wolf, thank you for the $2 super chat. Jangles must make an appearance in Starfield. Who the hell is Jangles? Shut up, Zonker. No one gives a shit about PC.
Oh, I did see Zonker in there.
Okay, speaking of PC, Yodona Kizada drops a $2 super chat and for a game code that says Xbox now has games clowns. That's the code. Check this out. So Xbox sent me this controller the other day. This is, and I didn't realize it until like a day later. This is the Age of Empires controller, and I know it's going to be a little overblown here on the exposure, but they actually, check it out, Mag. The bottom is chainmail. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, no, I can see it.
Can you see it?
By the way, it's very shiny. Is that thing got ray tracing in it?
Right, yeah, it's got cube maps and screen space reflections. No real ray tracing on the Series S. The top, I wish it was matte because the top is actually supposed to be leather armor and chainmail, and it's freaking really cool. And then for fun,
beautiful. One
of the triggers is red, so
it's like C-3PO's arm in Episode 7.
There you go, for all you super nerds. So I've been playing Age of Empires a little bit in early access, and no achievements or save carries over on the early access review edition, and kind of a game I never got to play, but now I'll install the full one and just you send your people out and watch them just take stuff down and watch their health bars go, and it's pretty enjoyable. One more, and we'll talk about Starfield. Hargeet says, Dead Space looks so good on the PS5. Oh, maybe not, he says. We'll talk about Dead Space performance. That. Oh, we will start it. Let's talk about Starfield, Gaz, because there are the Marchers. I'm going to turn this back here because there we go. There's people called the Marchers, and they are the loony bins that think that Starfield is going to shadow drop in March after a quick developer direct. Gaz,
as well. That's how you know it's wrong. in February, people. You think Microsoft's not going to market? Well, Microsoft are terrible at marketing. But come on, bruh. This is a game you need to start advertising. Likelihood is they have the event or showcase for Starfield in March. That's when they'll show the showcase. The earliest you'll see this game is in June. That's the way to do it. March, April, May, June. That's 3 months of sustained marketing push. That's enough time. You need to market this game. This is not a game you can shadow drop. Some games have utility of shadow
Almost
dropping.
no games you can shadow drop according to that information we got.
Detective Seeds.
Yeah.
That's great. And look at the games. Apex Legends, new IP. This game, Hi-Fi Rush, new IP. It works with new IPs. And
Starfield's
Apex Legends
new IP.
took the world by storm. Starfield is a new IP, but we know about it. It's coming from Bethesda. It's a big RPG, it's not a shorter rhythm-based game.
One was a free to play, and the other's a $30 game. I'm not downplaying those games.
That's just how it is.
If Starfield got shadow dropped,
massive, like you wouldn't like Sony wouldn't shadow drop like God of War kind of deal.
Meg, put to rest the CD keys, March 23rd, 23.
Yep.
The Marchers sounds like one of the factions that are going to be in like The Last of Us, like the Marchers versus the Fireflies in factions 2. By the way, that'll be $104.95 for a copy of Factions 2, which was supposed to be free. Anyways,
it's free to play. It's free to play.
Right. So, let's get into that. I think the best time to do this, you got to launch the second week of June in the middle of E3.
Okay.
Do it while everybody. If you're going to do it in June, do it that day. Do it the day of the show. Do it the day that, or maybe the day after, whatever. Maybe do it on the Monday or the Tuesday in the middle of E3. The hype around it, everybody there, everybody watching, everybody part of every event are going to be talking Starfield. That is how you do it. Right. Thank you, Colt. All right. And that's how you do it. You want to talk marketing? Hire me. That if you want to get marketing done properly, that's how you do it.
Hire me. I'll do it for free. I'll do it for $1 an hour less than Meg.
Wow. Thanks for undercutting me, Colt. Anyway,
and I won't take any state-mandated breaks. Hire me over Meg. Hire me. No.
State-mandated breaks. Here's the thing. You gotta strike while the iron's hot, right? And the best time to do it is when everybody in the world's eyes are focused on the video game conferences that are happening that week, right? I understand Sony's not going to be there. Xbox is going to be there. They're just going to be across the street. And Nintendo, they'll probably just do online stuff for all we know, right? Like, whatever. But the point is, it's still everybody's talking. That's when you do it. You do it so, like, everybody's out there doing the thing and talking, whatever. And, of course, let's not forget, if Sony's not there, that's an even better time to do it because now you have the whole stage to yourself. How many years in the past have we said, my God, Xbox, Sony's not at E3. Please do something. You know what I mean? Please step on the throats. Like I'm just saying. I'm not saying that they didn't. I'm just saying that's what they need to do.
Well,
this is what they need to do now.
Here's what's the latest. Thanks to hot, fiery, spanking hot news from my friend Randall Thor 19, the Xbox 2 podcast aficionado. He had Jeff Grubb on their podcast, and they drilled him about information for Starfield. And it sounds like Jeff Grubb is really confident in the June Starfield release date, where I have been very confident about September. And let me set this up because for you Marchers that think that the game is coming out in March, they have not shown a single iota of a frame of new gameplay of Starfield since June 2022. So you're not going to get a drop that early.
Marchers are saying they'll advertise it in February. The showcase will happen in February, and then they'll release it in March.
Dropping Atomic Heart.
Okay, here's the deal.
There's at the end of the month.
Yes. You got Atomic Heart. Hold on, where's that tweet? You've got.
Breathe a little bit. I don't know.
I just actually wrote the month of these release dates. Hold on, let me grab it. There's two reasons. There's two reasons why they won't drop this game after 1 month of a quick developer direct. One reason is Bethesda and Xbox and Microsoft all want a nice, lengthy preview period so that they can get people excited, hitting the preview button, pre-buying the game. The other reason and if they have different editions, which they probably will, they want people to be able to get whatever edition they want early, get excited, get all that anticipation. The second reason is I think they need to line up when everything's ready and when they can launch it, because I think it's very likely that they're going to launch this thing in June with a Starfield themed Series X in tow on the marketplace.
Show. Perfect. Yep.
So I think there's no way, you Marchers, that they are ready to do that in a 1 month turnaround.
Hold on a second. I'm going to throw a monkey wrench into this. Gaming said something very interesting in the chat. Diablo 4 is coming out the first week of June as well. That is a monster game.
Which one?
Diablo 4.
Yeah. But it's gonna be crap.
Oh, in June. Yeah, I'm hearing Diablo needs more time in the oven.
The developers are saying that. Developers are saying that their crunch mode, they're going to be scrapping out features. They are not happy there. Just another reason why ABK needs to happen.
And with the thoughts of acquisition, they're already talking behind the scenes, and we all know this thing's going to go through. They just have to jump through a few hoops first. I not have the discussions and be like, hey, guys, listen, take a few extra months. Release Diablo in September, because they're going to be part of Microsoft anyway. And like I said, it's just a matter of time. It's not an if, it's a when. So the thing is, and we all know this. So the thing is, why don't they have some internal discussion? Release Starfield in June around E3. Get them to push Diablo to September. Then it won't be an Xbox game. It won't be an Xbox Studios at that point, but I'll still give it time to breathe, because eventually it will become Xbox Game Studios. And we all know that Diablo has legs. Right, so it's going to be supported for many years, and many people, especially the PC community, are going to keep playing it, and you know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing. Push it a couple of months. In the end, you're not going to be losing anything if you're going to be under the Microsoft umbrella. I think this is a wise move. That's what I say they do. I say they bring Starfield out in June, push Diablo to September.
What about Forza? I think Forza's September. Forza might be September or October.
I think Forza will be October, and then you go Senua's Saga somewhere around November, December. Maybe not December. December's a little too late. Maybe stick a little bit closer to the first week of November.
So what did I say about Hellblade 2 behind the scenes before we started the show?
Right, exactly. So now the thing is, though, you also have to wonder when Sony's going to drop Spider-Man 2. Right? Because you also have to dance. You have to dance around that. You can't ignore it.
Yeah, September is probably Spider-Man. Right?
So they're going to sell 25 million copies. So when you do have to keep that in mind. You have to respect that game. That IP is huge. So you don't want to be too close to that either. Otherwise, you're going to have a Titanfall 2 on your hands. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a fantastic
that was bad.
Sandwich between... Right,
now these days it would be flip-flop, Mag, if Titanfall 3 would smash a Battlefield.
100%. But in those days...
Yeah.
In those days, it was Call of Duty and Battlefield were still hot, right? It was Battlefield 1, if I'm not mistaken. And,
was it?
Yeah, it was... Yeah,
Take
it was
objective butter.
And whatever Call of Duty it was, I can't remember which one it was. And then Titanfall 2 wedge in between. Anyway, the point is, you don't want to be too close to Spider-Man 2 as well. Right? So you want to have to kind of dance around those times. I still say right after Labor Day, drop Diablo 4. And like I said, it's got legs. So even if people don't touch it for like a year, they're still going to get to it eventually. Because, people are still playing Diablo 3 for crying out loud. You know what I mean? The game's been out for a decade.
What about you guys? What do you think of this? What do you think with Diablo, Forza, and Starfield? What's your best take?
Look, this whole time, I'm only hearing what you guys are hearing and all the chatter in the background. Today, just before the show, you told me Jeff Grubb thinks it's happening in June. In June.
Yeah, I was like,
confident.
What? Yeah, it's good to hear.
And what's the big one? The big one. Now, this one. Starfield is coming this year, one way or the other. But this one, chat, people's mag, touch my neck. Please touch my... why am I doing this to myself?
God, somebody, De Silva just mentioned Zelda too. I forgot about Zelda. Got to dance around those games, man. Zelda will sell 45 million copies.
What's Zelda? What's Zelda? April? May? I don't remember.
I think it's... I don't remember now.
Someone in the chat, let us know.
I think it might be May.
I don't even remember.
No.
There's big fans. They are totally different games. I even argued with I had a good discussion with the Marchers last night, and they were like, well, "What about Zelda?" I'm like, even if Starfield can be in the vicinity of Zelda, and both of those games can kick total butt, May 12th. So a week
with
after,
So
10 days
September makes
after
sense.
Redfall.
Microsoft has this problem
That's enough
where
time. May is a good enough cushion. That's a month before E3 even starts. You got a month. That's no problem for gamers.
Dead Planet
It doesn't
says
mean you're gonna
Starfield.
finish Zelda.
Dead Planet says Starfield doesn't have to dance around schniz. The whole year is packed. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the first half of the sentence. Well, all of it. I think Starfield can land almost anywhere and still do phenomenal. Except I think the July and August months are just, you're just wasting money because people's spending is just way down when it comes to sitting down and playing video games when they could be out 10 and their rear ends. But whatever.
It's gonna be
Whatever.
May. There for everybody that wanted that.
if it's
How
not
dare you.
smart,
Someone put that-
people, I
How
will
dare you say that.
laser you. I will
Saw
fire
the
the
Dead Planet
laser. Jeff Grubb also said something big.
Oh, you were
Why are we
yes,
not
you were
talk-
building up.
Why are we
what
not
else is
talking about this, people? You've got Redfall, you've got Starfield, you've got Forza, you've had Hi-Fi Rush already, and you've got all those Xbox Game Pass games. You've got Stalker. What you know? What Jeff Grubb is saying? He's hearing. Can you believe this?
bring
If
it?
it's true, oh my god!
Oh my days.
Hellblade 2 this fall. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, your auto tune. I don't know if it makes it better or worse.
Hellblade
Jeff
2.
Grubb-
He
Jeff
said-
Grubb
he said
is-
it's coming this year.
Yeah, he's pretty confident that Hellblade is ready for this year. And the ABK thing, like they want to watch out for Diablo because Diablo's probably being pushed to the fall. But you're like, where's the fall game? If you end the year, if you basically kick off the year AAA wise with Redfall, Starfield in the first half, Hellblade and Forza in the second half, you're looking at another Metacritic platform of the year because we already know that Forza Motorsports
That's
probably
one
going
of
to
the
score
best
87, 88. What?
What year has Xbox had that's stronger than this potentially? I can't.
I
think
mean,
of
2021 was
Uh,
good.
That would be
2021
like a
sucks
360.
ass compared to this.
I know.
Talking
I
like a
know.
360
You're looking at
year.
360 years. 360
Yes.
years.
Like a 360 years when they
Like
dropped
launch
like
it.
I mean, 2016 was their only other good
Gotham.
year when they had Forza Horizon 3, Gears 4. They had Dead Rising 4, which
Gears.
nobody loved except me. I mean, that
Tomb
year
Raider
was
in there,
pretty
too.
good, but
Doesn't come close.
no,
It
doesn't come close.
Well,
So
360 years, you had like Mass Effect was exclusive.
right,
you
Mass
had
Effect and Gears of War
Sky-
and like
Bioshock.
Rising and
Bioshock was
Bioshock.
exclusive.
Yeah, like those are all.
Ah.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
here's the
And, of
deal.
course,
like,
that could be a publisher of the year.
yeah, it could. I mean, we've
Publisher
sat
of the
here.
year. That's one of
We've
the
all
best
s-
years ever. That's for Xbox, guys. Are you crazy? You're gonna get
Gaz.
massively Fuck you, Cole. Listen, you're gonna get a Starfield. You're gonna get Redfall. You're gonna get best in class racer. You got Shadowdrop game, and you're gonna get Hellblade, third person visually stellar game will make your anus explode. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be the best year. Like if
Okay, here's
Hellblade drops, it's gonna be
here's
crazy.
what's going to happen. Redfall is probably going to get an 82 to 85. That's my prediction in the meta.
Redfall,
Starfield is a high 80. It could reach to 90. Just depends. Like if that story is like really compelling, but I think the mechanics of the game is just going to suck people in. So that's going to get a high 80 at least. Forza Motorsport is probably going to get a 87, 88. Like this one, they've taken 5 years to
I
make
would
it
have said
better.
easily 9. Don't they always hit 90s?
91.
It could be, but
91. They haven't hit a 90 in a while.
they haven't. Forza Motorsport has been kind of a little bit, but they've still been kicking GT's Gran Turismo's butt. And then you've got Hellblade: Senua's Saga, which is basically going to be for the first time ever you're playing the most huge big budget movie ever. Like this it's going to feel like you're in the most beautifully shot freaking film ever. That's going to be incredibly big. It's going to be an earth moving game. And this is
amazing.
and we already kicked it off with Hi-Fi Rush at an 88 right now.
1,200
and then Age
people,
of
by the way.
Empires. This
Sorry.
even Age of Empires is good. What?
Age of Empires as well. Look at the value. You've
Got an 87.
Well, Age of Empires I'm not going to count, but okay, RTS. You've got Hi-Fi Rush with the hell that is. You've got a 4-player or single-player shooter game. You've got Sim Racer Forza, best in class. Just watch this space. You got Starfield, massive Western RPG. Then you've got Hellblade, third person. You're not even counting the likes of Stalker and all of the games you're getting on Game Pass. it's a ridiculous year. I get it. The two big games got delayed. Just like Sony's last year looked good. Let's have keep the same energy.
Read this, guys. I sent you a DM of the month Game Pass and Xbox releases. It's really quick. If you go to the DM, I sent you the month to month until we hit E3 2023. Read it out.
So January you got Hi-Fi and Age of Empires 2. February you got Atomic Heart. March you got Wo Long Fallen. That's a big one. April you got MLB, which got announced today, coming to Game Pass again. Thank you, Sony. And Minecraft Legends, which is a big game, whether or not you're a fan of it. May you get Redfall. Then in June you get potentially, according to Jeff Grubb, Starfield. Then you have E3 or whatever the hell.
Well, I'm gonna call E3. What do you think of that, Mag? So you've got 1 to 2 games every month. What do you think of that on Xbox?
That's exactly what you need to do. Now, the thing is, what I'm curious about is now that we've theoretically and, of course, literally rounded out all of 2023 of what's coming, right? Because we're not sure 100% about Senua's Saga just yet. We know all those other ones are coming this year, all right? So let's say we've done that. My curiosity now looks towards 2024. Because now if you've got that roadmap, right, you're like, all right, 2023, we're all set. I'm curious to see that if they launch all these there, then 2024, what do you start looking at? Are we starting looking at like Avowed? Is that what we start looking at? Whatever. I've
got more news
about the Coalition, and then Compulsion. That's the one. Compulsion's game, right? And then maybe there's Fable, probably another couple years down the road. But who knows, right? So it's very interesting to see where this is all going to go. If they do this, without a doubt, they are going to win Publisher of the Year. Just like they did in 2020 or 2021? They won Publisher of the Year.
2021.
Xbox.
With Psychonauts and all that stuff.
Psychonauts and they also had, what was it? Flight Simulator was in there.
Flight Simulator, and then they had Halo. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, man, they won Publisher of the Year.
I've got more.
I see them doing that again this year.
What's
and
more?
You know what? Keep doing it. Keep going. Right?
I've got more.
You've got Activision Blizzard in the mix.
Kidding.
Holy Christ in heaven.
So get this. So
Gaz just choked on a biscuit.
Zane Bashir's like, Colt, calm down. I'm just having fun. You all right, Gaz?
I love that I'm trying to find out what you're saying. Mag isn't stopping chat. It's like, shut up, just tell him. No.
So
do it now.
The Coalition was working on the Matrix Reloaded, and they've been doing some support with State of Decay, which I also have information about State of Decay from today. But they are working on their new IP. They're not going to be putting out Gears 6 first. They are working on their new IP, and it is set for 2024. What? A new IP from one of the best studios in the space, the Coalition.
Where'd you hit that?
From the same interview with Jeff Grubb today on Xbox 2+1 Patreon-only podcast. Rand's like, I know you're not a patron to that because we talk every day, but he's like, you're my friend, so I'm going to tell you for the 30 or so people that got to watch their show live. And what do we have here live today? We have 1,200 people. Please hit the like button. Let's get up to 500 because Mag is sexy and Gaz is a smoke show. So please show your support to them.
They're all true stories.
How do you know Rand isn't trolling you? Yeah, Mag, I was thinking the same thing.
That would be He's like,
that would be horrendous. Can you imagine that was a prank? Rand is
a
evil.
scumbag, okay? So
he
I
would
wouldn't
do
put it
that.
past him.
He would do that. He would. Mag knows.
I know. He
Rand
sends me pictures. Okay. I have multiple screens, right, when I'm doing my thing, right? And I have a screen that's down there. So when I look down, I've said this story before, but I'll say it again for the chat for anybody who doesn't know. When I look down, it looks like I'm asleep. So Rand, clearly with nothing to do in his life, but sit there with his hand on the trigger, waiting for me to catch, and he screenshots me looking down. And always sends it to me and it says, Meg, sleeping on the show again? Must be really boring or whatever. He does it all the time. And of course, I'm on the air. I look, I see I got a DM and it's from Rand and I start laughing on the air. And then every single time, Gotta do this.
I've
Gotta turn the camera off because I start laughing because and all of a sudden,
My
then,
cheeks
all of
hurt.
a sudden, for the rest of the time, I'm self-conscious as all hell. Anyway,
I've got a meme. I've got a meme that only Gaz has seen where there's a famous picture of our good friend Tim Dog at E3 2019 where he has his eyes closed.
Yeah.
I have a meme where I put Phil when he was making that face at the Game Awards where he's like,
no,
when they were showing like party animals, and Phil's like, has that grimace. It's got Phil, it's got Tim sleeping, and then it's got Yoshida sleeping at an event.
I'm posting
they're all
that
together.
on Twitter right now.
Don't you dare.
That's fantastic.
And remember, Colteastwood made that.
That's a Patreon only image, by the way.
He did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show up at E3 and Phil standing there with the face and be like, it was cold. He did it.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh. Yeah.
Security.
We have such a good time. Let me read a couple supers. Thank you everybody for being here and hanging out with us. Like, it means a lot. We're having a good time. Highlander 001 says, Mag is right, but for me, it was the PS5. I played God of War, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Forbidden West. Everything else was PC, Xbox, or the Switch. All gamers eating good. Thank you, Highlander, for that. Scott Gamer Dude says, so you guys have a group of panel members going to E3? You're going to broadcast a live show? No, actually, I decided when I go to these shows, I am off the books and I just sit back. I go with my wife. We just have a good time. Gaz and I are going to be like, holding hands and skipping through the halls. It's going to be great.
Yep.
I can't wait. Hargeet Chani, thank you so much for the 10. He says, still think March is too soon. So Hargeet confirmed not a Marcher, Gaz. He says, but it's possible if physical inventory has already been created, marketing can be done differently. They need at least 6 weeks from announce to launch. And I would take Hargeet at his word when he talks about what the marketing window should be. He does his homework and he knows his way around how things work and he pays attention. He doesn't have ADD like Gaz and I. So Hargeet has another one. He says, March is Wolong. And then another game we always forget, Ghostwire Tokyo, is going to just drop in a Game Pass announcement.
Yeah.
And then he says MLB The Show, and I'm a massive fan of that game. Sith Lord, thank you so much for the 2, who's been sitting down. He says he's been waiting for the show for like 2 hours. He says, who is the bigger Pony Master 420 or Pony Master 69, Mag?
420, obviously. Come on. Actually
man.
grew a horn, for crying out loud. That's how much of a pony he is. He's a unicorn now. He's a mythical creature. He's a mythical beast. That's why you haven't seen him. He's like Snuffleupagus from those old kids' cartoons. He's there, and then he's gone. And then he's there, and then he's gone again. Listen, I'll be back. He'll be back. I'm just waiting for the moment to shine.
I'll never forget you and the inflatable by the dock. Like, everyone I showed that's not even keyed in. Freaking loved it. When the music comes in, and when I first had you on my show, I had to play that clip. It was so amazing. Red Wolf, my good friend, says, Starfield, thinking about releasing fine in late March. Wait, no. Oh, he goes Starfield, STAR. He does an acronym. Still, this you got to see this. I'll read it. These are the letters. Still thinking about releasing fine in late Darch. Darch is a Latin word for March, confirmed. Marchers march. And then he goes, what a dork.
Jeez.
I love Red. He's not serious. Red's, I think he's not a marcher. Those guys are crazy. Shout out to the Australian dudes who are the marchers. They knew who they are.
The Marchers. It's starting to sound like a radical group that you would hear about on CNN. It's like,
what were they
the
saying in the
Marchers
chat? They were
struck
saying
again.
the branch march videos and stuff like that. They're getting really meta with it. We got Dead Planet. Thank you so much. He says Grub also let slip Coalition's new IP 2023, which he DM'd that out before we could say it because he's quick on the trigger. Smoke Show with the Canadian 5 says, I'm on an 89-week streak with Microsoft rewards. I have 102,000 points going to buy Yakuza Inshin. Yakuza is my favorite series because Game Pass, don't sleep on it, and I need to play it. Fly Guy, thank you for the 2. How's Halo? Oh, Halo Battle Royale. Gaz, did you hear today that Kiki Wolfkill got put off of the Halo 343 marketing and integration of TV and put into another? She got promoted up into a different job of Xbox. She will no longer be specifically tied to Halo. Thoughts?
A lot of people were celebrating. I saw. I don't know what Kiki's. I'm not celebrating. I don't know what.
I remember seeing her in an interview when they were trying to launch Halo 5, and I was like not super thrilled about the way Halo 5 was looking. But go ahead.
I don't know. Look, ultimately, I don't think it's on Kiki. I think it's a whole leadership thing. If she's part of the leadership thing and that led to it, that's fine. Hopefully, good news. It sounds like 343 are cleaning up shop and fixing up. I'm not gonna say more on this because people don't like me talking about Halo. So
that's really cool of you because we've said it all, haven't we? But I feel like it's not about new blood in Halo. I think we might see the things that we love about. I'll just close it by saying this: the things that we all love about Halo will get to shine because those voices are going to finally be heard with leadership that is kind of moved up from the pits. It's kind of how I'm seeing it with Pierre and these people that are just going to magnify what makes Halo great. So I think good things are in store, and thank goodness for that. Dead Planet says, we're not there yet, but discussing the roadmap, you have to start wondering how Sony is even going to compete with Xbox this year, let alone next year. Mag, what say ye?
You know what? Don't worry about Sony. They'll be fine. I mean, let's face it. At the end of the day, Microsoft's making those big moves. They're doing the things, releasing big games. They're getting all the attention. There's no question. Let's also not forget, even with, and this came from Microsoft's own mouth, even with the Activision Blizzard deal going through, they're still not the market leader, right? So we got to remember, Sony in this particular space is monstrous. And as a global brand, they are monstrous. So Xbox is going to be given that real fighting chance to actually, contend for the title, so to speak. But let's not forget, Sony is still the market leader. So I wouldn't worry about them too much. They'll have dry years. There's no question. But the thing is, look what they're doing now. There's not much going on. You got a game like Forspoken that came out, hasn't really lit the world on fire. But look what they are doing. Yeah. They got The Last of Us on HBO right now that's breaking records. And now the game is starting to sell like gangbusters. So they'll be fine. Oh, yeah. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear that. I mean, I figured it would happen, but...
Yeah, they said that The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 are starting to sell in like big numbers 200%. Right now because... was it? 200%
in the UK or somewhere.
And Halo's sales went down after the show.
So Sony will be fine. Don't worry about them. They'll be just fine. Listen, they got big titles coming up still. And there's a whole bunch of stuff they haven't announced that we don't even know about yet, right?
Because they haven't had an announcement, right? So there's going to be this backflow of they're going to break the levee, and when they finally have a game showcase, that they're going to show everything that's supposed to come out in the next year or two.
Look what they do. Look at their third-party marketing deals. Whether the games goes to Xbox or not, they make it seem like you can only get the bloody thing on PlayStation.
I know.
Right? That's something that they do, right? And and you know what? It works because you know how many casuals are saying, "Oh yeah, I want to play this game or that game, but I heard it's only on PlayStation." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
I get mad when I hear that.
Yeah, like Red Dead Redemption 2 when it came out in 2018. I know that's 5 years ago now. Christ, I can't believe that. But anyways, the thing is, people are like, oh, yeah, it's that PlayStation game. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm playing on Xbox right now. They're like, no, I saw it on TV. It's only on PlayStation.
It's got the blue bars and the blue logos everywhere. They really do. So
they have that. And then what else do? They do those marketing deals, which, by the way, they tried with Starfield. Let's not forget that. To do timed exclusivity for like a year or so. Look at what just happened with the last two Bethesda games, and they were going to do it with a third Bethesda game because they did it with Death Proof, they did it with Ghostwire Tokyo, and they were trying with Starfield, but then Microsoft bought ZeniMax, right? So ZeniMax, Bethesda, whatever, and then so they never had a chance to do it. So they were going for the Triple Crown there. So what's going to stop them in the future from doing that again if they have a dry year? They're going to do it. Final Fantasy coming up this June. I mean, I'm not a Final Fantasy guy. But that's a big title for a lot of people. And that's, I mean, like I said, I'm not a Final Fantasy guy, but that's a big title for a lot of people. So, I mean, they didn't make it themselves.
They've been doing it rawly. Mate, I was working a video, Mag, comparing the two exclusives, Xbox versus PlayStation. Most of these are money hats. I mean, go through the... oh, shoot, I've lost it.
But you know what, though? You know what,
You've lost it.
Works.
Did you delete your video?
No, auto-recovered. No, I just got a list here. But look, Forspoken, 2-year exclusive. Obviously, that failed. Sucks. Final Fantasy 16, money hatted. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, money hatted. Stellar Blade was a multi-plat announced for Xbox, money hatted permanently. Silent Hill Remake, money hatted. These are all the games coming out this year, the big ones. Like all money hats. That's 5 games.
You know what?
Money hatted. the shit
Can I
out.
ask you,
Sorry.
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is it
Yeah.
working?
It works.
Not for
Well,
Forspoken.
not Forspoken. Not Forspoken because the game actually was trash. But hey, you know what? It's when you go to the casino and you're playing craps. Are you going to win every time you throw the dice? No. But they're throwing the money out there
Yep,
and they're trying to do that. And you know what? It's working for them so that buys their studios time to be able to make whatever. Because Naughty Dog's working on something. Sony Santa Monica's working on something. I always forget the guys who made Ghost of Tsushima.
Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch.
They're working on something new. I think it's a sequel.
Great.
Whatever, right? So that buys them more time. So what does Sony do? They turn around, they money had third-party deals.
That's
they
what
get
you're supposed to
exclusivity
do.
Take them away from
hate
Xbox. I know.
hate
I'm not a fan of it either. And it's not for me. I own everything. But it's not. I feel for people who can't afford buy multiple consoles, especially at these prices. Look
Yeah.
at, like, for example, PSVR 2. For Christ's sake, it's $1,000 in Canada. Can I repeat that for the 1.2 thousand people watching this show? By the way, hit the like button. It's $1,000 in Canada.
Well, the
That's
PSVR 2 is
one game.
$1,000.
$1,000. It's $970
Well, I mean,
something dollars.
I wanted Xbox to do that. Like they know the reality is it takes 5 or 6 years to make a game, so you need to money hat something to fill the voids. And now their money's tied up in the ABK thing. We actually have some new information about the ABK deal that I usually don't like to dwell on a lot. But Games Rant wrote this article today and said their ABK gives Xbox too much power over the video game industry. And Gaz, I want you to talk about this because they're saying that if they have control of Activision and Blizzard, which, let's be honest, is really just... Okay, those other games are multi-plat. It's really but Call of Duty and Diablo and Overwatch being on Game Pass. Everything else is kind of just doesn't really count, okay? Mag will be off camera real quick for a minute. He'll be right back. But, Gaz, let me read that to you, and I want you to take it. ABK gives Xbox too much power over the video game industry.
What a lot of nonsense. Complete nonsense. Maybe you're talking about mobile market with King? Because that's how much... Call of Duty, Sony care. Sony's Jim Ryan is going out lying. Came out today, just a couple of days ago before go live. We talked about it. That Microsoft have come out. Their senior communications manager, whatever his name,
Frank Shaw.
Frank Shaw. Frank Shaw's gone out on Twitter with a multi-thread thing saying,
I'll
"We're
DM it
hearing."
to you. Oh, you got it. Okay, go ahead.
We're hearing. Oh, no, I haven't got it, but he says we're hearing that Sony are telling people in Brussels that we're not offering parity. They're lying about the parity. Sony are so desperately against this deal. They put all their and Mag was spot on because what Sony do in areas that they're weak, they money hat. Obviously, in JRPGs, they've money. People are like, Xbox doesn't. No one cares about Xbox and JRPGs anyway. So why is Sony money hatting them? Why are they wasting their money? They're so frivolous with it. Their sustained period of exclusivity of JRPGs has made it so that people do not view any other console Nintendo to a certain degree, but it's a different whatever. Mm-hmm. Xbox is not even viable. It doesn't even come into conversation. When Persona came into Xbox, big deal even in Japan. But Sony routinely does that to make that image. And it's relying on Call of Duty. So Games Rant article is nonsense. We all know that. Everyone who watches this show will, I hope, agree that does not do that. Call of Duty being offered for 10 years. PlayStation, you get for a decade, you get Call of Duty. That's all that hangs on. Diablo, big game, absolute mess. Overwatch 2 is basically Overwatch 1.3. Is it anyone really talking about it now?
No.
What else is there? World of Warcraft, no one cares in the console space because it's a PC game. What are you talking about? Makes no sense.
Yeah, what are they lording over? It's so funny to say. You nailed the quote. I sent it to you because you almost had it spot on. I hear Sony is briefing people in Brussels claiming Microsoft is unwilling to offer them parity for Call of Duty if we acquire Activision. Nothing could be further from the truth. And that was Frank Shaw of Microsoft Communications. He also goes on to explain how parity is tech, features, purchases. The bottom line, guys, is that PlayStation is scared out of their minds that their most sold game every single year, like clockwork, revenue just comes in and you can just depend on it. That those people will say, I'm just going to go play it on Xbox because I can get it on Game Pass. I've been shelling out $60 to $70 every single year. I can now play it for $10 a month. Like, you could play the game for 7 months and you still paid the same amount without paying up front.
Or just pay a subscribe for a month and stop playing it like a lot of casuals do. But Mag was spot on when he said PlayStation are buying time. They're buying time so they start doing their live service.
With the complaints or with the money hats?
Well, money hats and the complaints is all a stalling tactic. Mike, they've literally come out. Jim Ryan has spelled it out expressly to everyone. We are working on 10 live service games. Some of them will be crap, but the one that hits will be big. This is Microsoft's modus operandi. They always focused on gas. And you know what? I am looking at, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, Naughty Dog and The Last of Us factions. That could be a watershed moment potentially for PlayStation. You know Naughty Dog do quality well. This is their most ambitious game, multiplayer game.
People loved the last one too.
So I really liked Faction. But imagine the scope of that. Bigger, larger world, like free to play as well, which is most likely will be. This could be big. This could go toe to toe with Microsoft's multiplayer games because everyone knows Sony doesn't do multiplayer that well. But Naughty Dog could redress the balance in a big way. The show is... everyone's talking about it. My girlfriend's talking about The Last of Us. She's never played The Last of Us. Everyone's talking about it. The same thing with Witcher. When that came out, everyone at work was like, oh yeah, I like the Witcher series. Do you know it's based on a game? Oh, is it? I'm like, you.
Based on a book, but yeah. But yeah.
Okay,
I think the game is bigger than the books at this point, but... Right.
Yeah, no, but
yeah.
So I believe in Sony can do it. I believe Sony can have a Halo killer. I believe they can have a multiplayer game. I don't respect Sony with ABK. You might think, Gaz, you just want excuses to hate Sony. I'm telling you, deadly serious. ABK under Microsoft is going to be great because the status quo is terrible. Everyone look at Blizzard. Ask any Blizzard fanboy. What's happening with Blizzard? Ask Acer.
They're a mess.
Ask any WoW fan. They're a mess. Look at Diablo. It's a mess. They're crunching right now. They're literally saying it to they swear and spit on Bobby Kotick's face. You see the developers out there.
Yeah.
What is going to change that?
Yeah.
Who's going to change that? Microsoft can. I'm not saying they will, but they can. That's why. So it's nonsense. We talk about ABK so much. Bleh. I was having more fun talking about Hellblade coming to... Why are we not talking about that? Hellblade coming out... Am I the only one who thinks that if Hellblade drops along with all these games, it's going to be the best, one of the best, if not the best years for Xbox as a brand?
Is it? If Hellblade makes it, are they good or are they good either way?
Oh yeah, no, they'll be great. Are you kidding me? That'll be probably, like we were saying, like 20 minutes ago, one of the most monumental years that we've seen. Like especially us older gamers who've been around since those 360 days at 2006, 2007. Those. By the way, remember we were listing all those games? Forgot Halo 3 was in there too. Remember that? So like that was
07.
Like that was also the same year. So like man, like we're and you know what the thing is? I have to say it. Everything that's been going on, and then the pandemic happened and all this other stuff, we were calling this. A lot of us were saying this back in 2019 and back in 2020. We were saying that this is going to be the return to form of the 360 days because, remember, Phil was there. On the same capacity, but he was there to see it all go down. Therefore, he knew that he had to bring it back to that kind of glory if you wanted to get it, you know what I mean, to move this product forward into the next stratosphere and to be able to truly compete against the big dog. Okay? And, I mean, Nintendo's huge. For some reason, I just put them in their own category. I don't know why. They just don't seem to be part of the conversation. Yeah, like it just seems like that they and like I said, I'm not downplaying.
They're in their own lane. Yeah,
we're in their own lane entirely. But let's face it, Sony and Microsoft are in the same lane. regardless of the fact that one's worth $2 trillion or whatever else, right? And their true competitors are like your Apples and your Googles and your Amazons. But anyways, that's besides the point.
In the gaming space, they're the same.
The gaming space, they're
head-to-head.
100% playing the same game, so to speak, or same
Absolutely.
ballpark. But anyways, the thing is, what I'm getting at is that, yes, Hellblade comes out. You've rounded out one hell of a year. But again, obviously, they're not sitting there going, well, we released everything, and now we got nothing for 2024. That's not going to happen. I'm just personally curious. Yeah, I'm personally curious to see how 2024 is going to shape up, because now we're basically already know how the rest of this year is going.
I can't even look forward to 2024. We didn't even talk about multiplats that are gigantic, like Resident Evil 4.
We got Resident Evil 4. We've got Jedi Survivor.
Now, we didn't talk about my favorite, Dead Island 2. Like, I can't wait to play that. What, Gaz?
I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna get fired from work. There's no way.
No, what the thing
They
is,
need me.
You're
to
like,
come
I
on.
quit the podcast so I can concentrate on work, and then you're like,
No,
you know what? I just want to get my hands on these games and play them. That's all I want to do now. I want to
Meg
get
and I
my
were
hands on them
talking.
and play it.
I DM'd Mag yesterday, and I'm like, hey, have you played Hi-Fi? He's like, yeah, I played a little bit. I played Dead Space. I'm like, yeah, I'm playing both of those. And he goes, and then Hogwarts is out in like 2 weeks. I go, what? And he goes, yeah, we're screwed. And then that wasn't even counting like the Resident Evils, the Jedi Survivors, Dead Island 2, the Zelda Tears, whatever that's called, Tears of the Milli Vanilli or whatever that game's called. Yeah, you got a whole bunch of.
That is exactly what it's called.
It will crap on everything Xbox. Don't
You know what's funny about you
fun of
mentioned
it.
Hogwarts? I actually promised a bunch of people in the community, because I got it for PlayStation and Xbox, because my wife and I are monster Harry Potter fans. I actually promised. What a stupid thing for me to do. I actually promised to get the platinum on PS5 and the 1,000 out of 1,000 on the Xbox. So I have to complete the game.
Well, it was nice knowing you.
No,
You're gonna be like, Lingasio, Linguasi, Linguardio, or whatever the thing
no
is.
kidding, right? So I'm gonna have to do that. Lingardium Leviosa.
I know, I'm just kidding, Meg.
Leviosa.
I talked to Hargeet.
Hargeet
Hargeet was cool enough to get me all of the Harry Potter series on 4K Blu-ray, and my family and I sat down and just like experienced the whole thing. And then I got a party chat. I'm like, Ligusia Linguini, and he's like, gold.
It's like something my grandmother would scream. Being Italian.
Right? Yeah. Throws a noodle at your head.
What are you doing over there? Linguini, okay? That's pretty
With a
much
noodle.
Pretty much how it all went down. Yeah.
Hold on.
Anyways, listen. So anyways, I've got to do 2 completions of the same game, and I promised people, I said, hey, you know what though? Someone dared me to get all 5 platinums on Uncharted in 3 months, and I did it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
all right,
I did it last year. I did it last year when Legacy of Thieves came out. A bunch of people are like, all right, smartass, go get all 5 platinums. And I'm like, all right. And I got them. I got it in 3 months. So you know what?
my
I could
gosh.
do that. I could complete them both.
I
too, so
dare
I'll do
you,
that.
Mag, to get me 5 private strip club dancers E3.
In LA?
Are you gonna do it?
The
Are you
what?
gonna do
You know
it?
why? What now?
Because the United States,
Women,
United States have topless dancers. That's totally useless. You got to go to Canada where they're completely nude. Anyway, that's how we roll up here. So anyway,
The what now?
Yeah. You heard correct, Colt. So anyways,
We're talking about
Go.
video
we got a
games.
lot of- anyway, long story longer, we got a lot of games to play, guys. So
Yes.
podcasts are now going to be 25 minutes.
You know,
Basically
Donnie-
gonna be an introduction, one topic, and then we have to.
What
go
are you
back to
playing?
gaming.
Well, if we could the whole 2 hours tell you what I'm playing. Udana Kizada has such a fitting super chat. Thank you, Udani. He says,
Sorry. It's my 4 weeks up. I have 4 shows. I want to be as disruptive as possible.
so nothing's changing. Great. Okay, Udani says, Sony will be back in competition in 2023 when they launch Stellar Blade, peach emoji, during no peanut emoji November, and then devil's horns.
Who said that?
Yodani, of course.
Yodani,
Andy
that was
Hart,
a
thank you so
wicked-
much for the £5 super chat. He says, absolutely adore Dead Space remake on Series X. Hopefully they get greenlit to make Dead Space 2. And today the news came out that Xbox Series X woefully outperforms and out visualizes the PS5 because it is using full RDNA 2 features with VRS 2.0 and not software-based RDNA 1.5 features. And everyone is super upset that I pointed that out, and I just had to do it. I don't know. Does it matter? Am I going to buy it on PS5? I already have it here. Game looks and runs phenomenal. It's a beauty. Hargeet Chani with a $10 super. Thank you, Hargeet. It says, reality is Xbox is forcing Sony to have to compete by increasing value for their consumers. They don't like the Game Pass model. And Call of Duty and Game Pass ends the discussion. PlayStation has to respond by going day and date. Hargeet, do you mean that PlayStation has to throw Call of Duty on PS Plus Extra or whatever? Is that what he's saying, Mag? That they have to compete
really.
that way?
No, they don't. No, they could do their own thing, and they'll still like I said, they're more of the global brand that they're going to do it without it.
They're just trying to disrupt the deal any way possible.
They're trying to disrupt it for whatever reason is that they don't want the attention removed from them. Because let's face it, the entire PS4 generation, who had the marketing rights for Call of Duty after Xbox foolishly gave it up after the 360 era. What a mistake. During the 360 era, it was Xbox was synonymous with Call of Duty. Call of Duty, Xbox was the Call of Duty. It was the shooter box. Remember that? Remember everybody called the Xbox 360
the dude bro shooter box.
Halo,
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, your Gears of War. Your Halos, whatever, right?
Yeah,
it was the shooter box, man. And then all of a sudden, the PS4 comes out, and the Xbox is like, yeah, we don't need it anymore. Bye-bye.
That's why the 360 had that red reticle on it, and when you turned it on, and it flashed. The shooter box. Special Nick, all the way from Australia. Thank you for the $5 Australian dollar super chat. He says, if you include third-party exclusives and time stuff like the last case of Benedict Fox, it's an absolutely bonkers year. Yes, Nick, we didn't talk about Planet Alana, a side-scrolling puzzle-based game from Thunderful. You've got, like I said, last case of Benedict Fox dropping in. You've got Erebon, which is probably dropping in, which is like a stealth third-person, like cyberpunk game. Replaced, right? Which is a side-scroller, like 16 or 8-bit game. You've got, let me name one more that wasn't on the list.
Cyberpunk dank game.
What's the other one? It was. Let me go back.
Ravenlock.
Let me go back to this. Ravenlock. Hold on, it's right here.
Warhammer Dark Tide, Erebon, Ravenlock, replaced.
You got replaced. It's right here. I'm going to say along with it. It goes in time. You got replaced on screen. Planet of Lana. There's only 3 seconds per game here. The next game is Minecraft Legends, which is multiplat, and hopefully this syncs up in time. You've got Ravenlock, which is made by Coco Cucumber, which has actual in-time combat. Erebon, Shadow Legacy. Atomic Heart, which is Game Pass. And then you go on to Silk Song, which is probably coming in 2023. Last Case of Benedict Fox is exclusive. There's GoldenEye already out. Wolong Fantasy, multiplat, but coming to Game Pass. And then you have Flintlock, which is releasing this year as well.
Yes.
Lies of P, which has a release date, has probably been pushed to the end of this year, which is an amazing Souls game. Warhammer Dark Tide, which won't score very well because they've had problems with this game, but it'll still be really great on Xbox. Stalker 2 is probably coming this year as well. We are hoping. It's had quite a long delay. That looks amazing. Forza Motorsport in probably September, October. We'll take October because that's what Mag said. Redfall in May, and then Starfield possibly in June.
Wait,
and
did you
then
mention Lies of P?
I did mention Lies of P. And then possibly Hellblade in November. That is a freaking killer.
Fox got no games.
Killer year. Killer year.
That is mad. That deserves some.
Can you imagine? You know what? And the ponies will say, but they're all on PC.
That's how you know Xbox has games. When they say, well, I'll get it on PC then. Well, you want it, don't you? Yeah.
All right, let's put out a poll. We'll put out a poll. Is Xbox's Xbox
a poll
2023 fire? And then we'll see how many trolls are in the chat because I think that's it's unmistakable. Yes or no, is Xbox 2023 fire? That looks awesome. Let me grab RRD with a Canadian $2. Thank you, RRD says, laugh out loud. Sony can never kill Halo, even at its very lowest. Well, Sony had nothing to do with killing Halo. What were you going to say, guys?
I don't remember. I was just making orgasm
noise. The real
noise.
R.L. Stein in the chat right now?
Oh, yeah. Write us another book.
Nicholas Branch, I saw what you said, scumbag.
So one
On
more.
the bright side, with a $10 super chat, he says maybe Starfield was delayed due to a voice. I can't do American accent. Acting scheduling conflict. By the way, in Tom Cruise's next project, he plays an interstellar space traveler from Earth. Has Microsoft already sold the movie rights?
Ooh, interesting.
What was that? What was that rumor that Tom Cruise was working with? I thought there was a rumor that he was there a rumor that
it was false. They said that he was working on something. It was a cross promotion with Starfield, but that's not. That ended up
and
not
then it's
being true.
this. It's this.
What it is that he's actually doing a movie where, you know how Tom Cruise always does one big stunt for every movie that he does it himself. And if anybody went to go see Avatar in IMAX 3D, they showed you like a 10-minute clip of him driving off of a ramp off of a mountain and like free base jumping right off.
So what? Vin Diesel does that in every movie.
Well, Vin Diesel does it. Vin Diesel does it while he's on the couch, while the CG Vin Diesel does it. But Tom Cruise actually did it.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is
he actually did it. So his new one, he's going to do an actual spacewalk outside of the space station.
Shut up.
That's cool.
That's Tom Cruise's. Yep, that's Tom Cruise's next big shtick. So this one where he jumped off the motorcycle off the mountain, that's for the new Mission Impossible.
He jumped out of an airplane or a helicopter. He freebased off a helicopter just for. Yeah.
Yeah. So now his next thing for this movie, whatever this movie is going to be, he's actually going to do a real spacewalk. Yeah. Just look it up. You can Google it. You can see it. That's his big plan for the next.
Rated best actor. That's it. When someone goes that far.
He's like the last real giant Hollywood star.
Well, I mean, even those big Hollywood stars didn't do that stuff
now. But he's holding on to
a genuine, like monumental, like Hollywood star. He's like the biggest.
Yeah.
There's other people that are big. They're all huge, but like not as big as that.
Yeah.
And he's 5'7".
Spacewalk. Nothing wrong with that, okay?
Anyways, it's not Starfield, unfortunately, guys. So
okay. We've got Highlander with a $2 says, is there a plan B for Activision or Microsoft? I don't know. I mean, we worry that if the deal doesn't go through, that Xbox just tightens up the wallet and just stays cool for a while. But I just really think this deal's going through and they're going to try and make an example of Xbox and it won't happen. Don Matrick or Mondatrick says, you think Bonnie and Kiki gone? I got a chance.
Mondatrick.
I remember as a pretty dang good Xbox fan, I consider myself more of a gaming fan more than anything back then when the Xbox One was launching, and I really just hated everything about that console and the reveal for it, and immediately just didn't like Don Matrick. I was like celebrated when he went to go work for Zynga. I'm like, good, go take care of Farmville. But it's been a long road since then. One more piece of news, guys. Some sleuths checking out LinkedIn said that State of Decay 3 has hired people to bolster up the AAA production of State of Decay 3, and the game has full in-engine rendered cinematics, which the game normally just kind of just plays and has that AA/AAA look and just doesn't kind of go beyond what you'd hope. But Gaz, what do you think? I mean, I don't know if you're. I've played a lot of State of Decay 2. So,
State of Decay isn't known for that, and with State of Decay 3, if you watch the developer interviews, their dream game is to build this massive like multiplayer kind of world. CGI doesn't factor into that, which means that they might be aiming for the blue sky with a discernible single-player narrative component for the game, which would be very surprising. That means, you need to have a certain level of polish. If a game, State of Decay 2, it had a massive visual upgrade, but still looked a bit, janky and cartoony.
Yeah.
And that didn't lend itself well to great storytelling, other than the stories you organically created in the world, because it had a vibe, it had a really discernible atmosphere. But if they have CGI cutscenes, and not just the chick walking through snow, and throughout the story, and that suggests there's a single player component with a story, or somehow tied to multiplayer somehow, or co-op. That's quite impressive. That's very impressive. If that's what they're doing, that means they're really nailing down the narrative side of things, which is, I don't think many people were expecting. Depends on execution. It seems weird, but it could be great. I personally think that this kind of leans towards a single player narrative driven game. That would be great, because then you've seen that with Ark in Austin. Yeah, so with Ark in Austin, with a 4-player co-op game, they've also really strongly said, look, reasserted single players can play this. State of Decay does that as well with Undead Labs. I don't know what they're aiming for. I'm very keen to see what they do with State of Decay, because every time I play, even albeit briefly, I just feel like it's there, but increase the scope tremendously. And I got friends who are hooked on State of Decay, but increase it tremendously, and it could be incredible. You know, what's that other game that broke the news that doesn't look like it's coming out in any time soon? A Way Out. What was it? Chat, please remind me. That zombie survival game that looks like The Division.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, do you remember, chat? I think it looks cool.
Amazing. But it looks too good to be true now, because the studio sounds like a gimme abandoned vibes. State of Decay can be that, but more. And I'm hoping that's going to be the case. But I'm very surprised by the CGI thing. Let's see what happens.
I think it needs it, because you just...
Thank you, Player One. Yeah.
Day before. Okay. Yeah, it's...
Day after?
That's the thing that's missing. Like, there's the animations, your characters really stilted the way they move. But I don't know. I'm hearing... State of Decay has been through a lot of work. Like, they've been really working to push that up. They promised a AAA experience with State of Decay 2, and they didn't deliver. But man, that's another game that needed 1 year delay, because in 2019 that game got the Daybreak update. It looked amazing, and then the next year they enhanced it so it ran at 60, which it should have, but you couldn't on those little consoles. But yeah, you're gonna see some nice things there. With
I shared your meme online with Tim.
You did?
And Tim replied and goes, I love it.
I love Tim so much. Let me grab cool, man. He's so funny. On the bright side, thank you for the 2 says, don't forget the 2018 Bethesda tweet to Cruz. That's right. That's where that came from, Mag. I think I put that in a video. That was a little serendipitous, but... One more. Metal Mashes says EA needs to announce a new fight night at E3 and include Gaz and Paris Lily as playable characters.
What if there's an MMA game by I would win. Who would pick Saucebots versus Paris Lily? What's he gonna do? Throw a cyberpunk chair at me? You can't do nothing. By the way, there's an MMA game being worked by EA. But we need a boxing game, man. What the hell?
They do. They know. I think there's something in the works. I think, in fact, I think EA said they were working on something. So Fight Night is coming back, right, Meg?
It better be. It better feature Jake Paul. Otherwise, I'm not buying it. So.
I mean, put him on the cover is so like crazy. Meg, thank you so much for being here with us on Ecstasy. I really appreciate you, Gaz. We'll get to you in a second. Gaz, you got 3 or 4 ecstasies left before you concentrate on your new career working at 343. Let people know.
If I worked at 343, Phil, I would deliver the best Halo game ever. I would be. I haven't. Never mind.
He's like, we're coming into some paperwork problems. We're trying to bring you on the team. Most of these people have blocked you.
I reckon I could do it.
We're trying to work out a deal.
Everyone hates you here. Come into the 343 offices on this print. You just made our life hell talking absolute crap.
Gaz, can you tell us about this video you're working on? It's a comparison video. Can you talk about it?
Yeah.
And when it's going to be out?
I've been working on it for ages. ADHD has killed me. But it's PlayStation's exclusives versus Xbox's exclusives this year, pitting out high quality editing music, turn the headphones on and get sucked into the music and editing. So yeah.
Are you going widescreen again in this one?
I love the widescreen. I'm going widescreen again.
Awesome.
I love that aspect ratio. But yeah, man.
When do you think we can see this video? When should we keep an eye out for it? I know it's always fluid.
Tomorrow or Wednesday. Please give it, because I just detail, please. Let me do. I want it to be good. So I don't know. Tomorrow, I'm trying it tomorrow. I've got some really good tracks. But let's see. But yeah, no, please check it out. Game on Daily, one word, is the YouTube channel. And yeah, we get saucy. I only have how many weeks with you? I mean, this is kind of sad. Genuinely. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks with you, Colt. It's gonna whole new world. What is that? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, with Mag, it's always great show, man. When you said Mag was there, I'm like, all right, easy time.
Mag,
easy
what do we got to do to get you to make YouTube content? Like full meal deal.
I'm having a quiet war with YouTube. That's why, like, it's just my personal beliefs of the way that I want to do things. My artistic ideas and stuff don't jive with their demonetization rules, right? So that's where I kind of have an issue. Now, of course, I love doing shows. I love doing shows with people, and I love being on other people. I've done shows on oh my god, on how many channels I can't even name them all. But I love doing it. To do my own thing, and I'm like, I can't do it. Can't do what I want to do because they just won't let me do what I want to do. And as a result of that, I just kind of just backed off from that kind of thing. But you know what? I'm no stranger to it. I'm on YouTube all the time. Like I said, I'm guesting on shows. I'm on a permanent show, of course, every Wednesday night with Mr. Boomstick XL on Primetime Gaming. And we do all that. My brother has a YouTube channel. He's big now. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok and YouTube as well now. So he's a professional musician. And we're talking like big time stuff. So like he's got like movie stars and stuff like that hitting him up, and he's doing all that great stuff too. So that's was wonderful. However, I enjoy doing the stuff, and you know what? I enjoy the interaction with people, and the people like reach out to me from all over the world and saying, to me, that's what matters the most. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing it for the ads. I'm not doing it for anything else other than just the love of the community and the love of what we talk about, our passion, which is gaming, of course. And even the people that don't like me, I still interact with people that don't like me. Not even in a nasty way. I'd be like, hey man, anytime you want to hit me up, just hit me up. You could DM me. You could talk to me. We could play games together. We do whatever. And a lot of people who didn't like me ended up actually becoming friends of mine. So that's just kind of the way it goes, man. There's no time for fighting. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it is. And plus, I'm also the big boss of a big corporation now, so I have a lot to do.
Sony.
So yeah, of course I won't dive into that, but it is what it is. And I'm running out of Canada, even though it's an American corporation. So I do what I do, and then that's it too. But anyways, absolutely adored the show today, guys. What a turnout! My goodness, that was one of the biggest turnouts I've ever seen on a live show for myself personally. So, man, what an accomplishment. Guys, hit that like button on the way out. Colt, always appreciate the offer. You know that when you hit me up, I'm going to say yes. Gaz,
dude,
thank you so much. Too, man. And I look forward to your, hearing about your new job as a janitor, and I look forward to everything else in the future. So, anyways, all seriousness, good luck with everything. I wish you all the best, and everybody in the chat and everybody else, and Colt, Gaz. Guys, have a great night. We'll talk to you guys real soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it because I know the chat, they're just like us. Like we go to work. Most of our work doesn't want to talk about video games. You bring up something you're playing, they don't give a crap. So we get to gather here together and talk about the stuff we love the most. I like to eat. I like to play games. And then that's all you need. And you guys have been amazing. Thanks to 1,200 people who checked out the show. This is the XNC podcast. Please be patient. I will get timestamps up and get this on podcast platforms so the rest of people can check out the show at their leisure in the next hour or so. Gaz, you go to sleep. It's been amazing. Mag, thank you. I'll have you on again, of course. Guys, we're going to hit the button and get out of here if I can find it. Gaz says something every week, and I love that he does, and we're going to get out of here.
I'm naked again.